Welcome to the next Framework in Engineering. It is a joy to have you here. Today marks a premiere. This is the first video of our new news format, a space we will be sharing every Thursday and Sunday at 4 p.m. The concept is very clear. The world of artificial intelligence is moving at a speed that is no longer measured in years, but in weeks. And my mission is to ensure you don't miss a single thing. Here, we will break down new models, understand what is happening with the hardware powering all this, see how open source is advancing, and analyze industry movements. And pay attention, because when something truly transformative emerges, something that changes the rules of the game, we will dedicate an exclusive, in-depth video to it. But today, we have a lot to cover. It is February 19th, 2026. Remember this date, because we might look back in a few years and mark this week as the exact moment everything changed. We have officially crossed an invisible yet definitive line. Until now, we had lived in the era of generative chatbots, those intelligences that conversed, summarized, and created quite convincing texts. But that is over. We have fully entered the era of agentic systems and deep reasoning. What does this mean? That artificial intelligence has stopped being a passive tool waiting for our instructions to become an entity capable of acting, planning, and, most surprisingly, discovering new things. Let's start by analyzing what is happening at the frontier of models, because what OpenAI and Google have done this week is simply fascinating. Let's talk about OpenAI first. Sam Altman's organization has decided to play on 3 boards simultaneously, but there is one move that stands out above all others: GPT 5.2. And this is not a simple version update. The Pro variant of this model has achieved something that, until recently, we considered science fiction. It has proven a theoretical physics theorem related to particle interaction. I want us to pause here for a second to understand the magnitude of this. We aren't talking about the model searching its database and finding an existing solution. No. The problem was cataloged as unsolvable under current paradigms. What GPT 5.2 has done is generate new science. To understand the technical difference, think about this. Until now, models worked by interpolating. Imagine you have an incomplete map of the world. AI was very good at guessing what was in the gaps based on what it already knew around them. That is, interpolating. But what GPT 5.2 has done is logical extrapolation outside the training distribution. It's as if that explorer, instead of filling in gaps in the known map, had boarded a ship, sailed into an ocean where nothing was charted, and discovered a new continent, drawing its coastline with mathematical precision. And most importantly, human experts have validated that demonstration. This suggests that the model has developed a causal understanding of physical laws, transcending simple statistical pattern recognition. It no longer just repeats, it understands and discovers. But OpenAI hasn't stopped at theory. They have updated their deep research tool in ChatGPT, and this is what we call the most sophisticated commercial deployment of an autonomous agent. Here lies a fundamental architectural shift. Before, when we used the chain of thought technique, the process was linear and internal, a black box. Now, the system presents an execution outline, visible and editable before starting. This is brilliant because it allows us, humans, to intervene in the agent's reasoning phase. We can tell it, no, don't go there, focus on this other aspect. Furthermore, they have solved one of the biggest headaches: hallucinations in research. They have implemented granular source control. Now we can manage domains, include or exclude specific sites, and connect the AI with our own enterprise data repositories. By restricting the search space to verified corpora, we transform the tool from a creative text generator into a reliable auditing engine. And the efficiency is brutal. Tasks that would take a human hours, this agent solves in intervals of 6 to 12 minutes, at a ridiculous cost in comparison. And to close the OpenAI block, a key strategic move: the hiring of Peter Steinberger. If the name doesn't ring a bell, he is the founder of OpenClaw. His arrival to lead the Personal Agents division tells us one thing clearly: one-on-one interaction, human versus bot, is numbered. We are heading towards multi-agent systems. Imagine different specialized artificial intelligences talking to each other to solve a complex problem without us having to intervene at every step. OpenClaw will become an independent foundation, but this hybrid, open-core approach promises to accelerate the ecosystem tremendously. Now, if you thought Google was going to sit idly by, you are mistaken. DeepMind's response has been aggressive and attacks 2 fronts: abstract logic and biology. Pay attention to this name: Gemini 3 DeepThink. This new reasoning model has shattered expectations in the ARC-AGI-2 benchmark, reaching a score of 84.6%. To put this in context, in November 2025, just a few months ago, models barely reached 7% on this test. This benchmark doesn't measure memorization, it measures general intelligence and adaptability to new rules. Jumping from 7% to 84% implies a nearly human capacity for abstraction. And they have achieved this by optimizing inference in a wild way. They have reduced the cost per complex task from $77 to just $13. This suggests they have hit the nail on the head regarding model distillation, or much more efficient mixture of experts architectures. On competitive programming platforms like Codeforces, this model already operates in the highest percentile. Only 7 humans in the whole world surpass it. On the other hand, in the field of biology, Isomorphic Labs, also under the Google umbrella, has gone beyond AlphaFold. They no longer just predict protein structures. Their new AI simulates complete pharmacodynamic interaction. It acts as a virtual laboratory that tests the efficacy and toxicity of synthetic molecules without needing to physically create them first. This reduces the drug discovery cycle from years to months. We are validating the AI-first approach in biotechnology. Also in the realm of theoretical research, Google has published a paper on recursive language models that could change everything. They propose the end of the finite context window. Instead of processing all the text every time, which consumes massive resources, they propose a dynamic memory that consults history recursively. Theoretically, this would allow contexts of 100 million tokens. We are talking about agents with permanent life memory, who remember everything they have discussed with you since day one. Changing geography, we have to look at Asia. ByteDance, TikTok's parent company, has presented Sidon 2 and has set a new standard in video generation. Multi-camera control, perfect temporal consistency, native audio synchronization, technically it is flawless. But here comes the controversy. The quality is so photorealistic and replicates protected styles with such precision that Disney and Paramount have already sent cease and desist orders. It is evident they used unlicensed copyrighted data. This is a double-edged sword. Incredible technology that will probably arrive in the West very limited to avoid million-dollar lawsuits. Let's leave software for a moment and move on to the iron, the hardware. Because all this intelligence needs a physical body to run on. Infrastructure is migrating towards a key concept, the rack-scale computer. We no longer think of individual servers, but of the entire rack as a single compute unit. NVIDIA remains the king with its Blackwell architecture, but we already have confirmation of its successor for the second half of 2026, Rubin. We are talking about 3 nanometer nodes optimized and HBM4 memory. Furthermore, they are democratizing access with their SuperPod servers and RTX 5080s in emerging markets like India, decentralizing high-performance computing. But keep an eye on AMD, which is playing its cards very well with its Helios platform. They are integrating Instinct MI 400 accelerators on 2 nanometer nodes. And here is the key data point. It is confirmed that OpenAI will deploy MI 450 clusters this year. This is hugely important because it validates AMD's software, ROCm, as a real alternative to NVIDIA's CUDA. That OpenAI uses AMD is a seal of quality the market was waiting for. Google, for its part, already has its TPU v6, called Trillium, in mass production. It offers a 67% improvement in energy efficiency. And energy is critical, because Anthropic is going to use more than a gigawatt of capacity to train Claude 2026.
And this brings us to the real bottleneck, energy. It is no longer so much the silicon, but the electricity. Adani has announced a $100 billion investment in data center infrastructure and green energy in India. And giants like Meta and Microsoft are signing nuclear agreements to guarantee 24/7 supply. A combined capital expenditure exceeding $650 billion is projected for this fiscal year. The figures are dizzying. Let's move on to the open source ecosystem, because the gap between closed and open models has closed dramatically this week. And curiously, it is Chinese actors leading this contribution. First, Alibaba has released Qwen 3.5 and 2.0. These models compete head-to-head with GPT-4 and Gemini in image and agent tasks, but with a focus on cost efficiency that is going to do a lot of damage to Western API prices. Second, we have Z.AI with its GLM5 model. It stands out for having an extremely low hallucination rate and superior performance to Claude 4.5 in programming. And attention, its subscription cost is 60% lower. The deflationary pressure this exerts on the market is immense. And third, I want to highlight news that hits close to home. LATAM GPT. Powered by Senia in Chile, it is the first native LLM for Latin America. It is trained with regional Spanish and Portuguese corpora. This is vital for data sovereignty because it seeks to reduce Anglo-Saxon cultural bias and improve performance in local legal and administrative tasks, where US models often fail because they don't understand our context. To finish, we have to get serious and talk about industry, regulation, and ethics. The atmosphere is getting tense. There is a very strong geopolitical conflict between the Pentagon and Anthropic. According to sources, the US Secretary of Defense is considering designating Anthropic as a supply chain danger. The reason? Anthropic refuses to let its Claude models be used for surveillance and weaponry tasks. If the Pentagon executes the blockade, we will see a total market bifurcation. One AI for civil and ethical use, and a distinct one for national defense. And it's not the only problem for Anthropic. Despite being valued at $380 billion, they are suffering a talent exodus in their safety team, including key figures like Marina Sharma. This highlights the tension between commercial success and maintaining the principles of a constitutional AI. In the real corporate world, the labor impact is already tangible. The law firm Baker McKenzie has announced a 10% cut in its workforce. It's not an economic crisis, it's efficiency derived from AI and document review. Mustafa Suleyman from Microsoft forecasts the total automation of traditional administrative work in 12 to 18 months. Roles are shifting from production to strategic supervision. AI is not just complementing, it is replacing mid to high-level cognitive tasks. Finally, regarding legislation, the European Union has presented the Digital Omnibus. It is a proposal to simplify the AI Act. They have realized that bureaucracy can stall innovation and are trying to facilitate the integration of laws so as not to miss the train against the United States and China. As you can see, it has been an intense week. We have gone from physical theory proven by a machine to nuclear tension over energy, and from data sovereignty in Latin America to layoffs at major law firms. The transition to agentic AI is real and is happening right now. I would like to leave you with a question to reflect on and leave me your opinion in the comments. Seeing GPT 5.2's ability to generate new science and Gemini 3's reasoning, do you think we are ready to trust scientific discoveries made by an AI when we might not completely understand how they were deduced? Or should we always have a human in the loop validating every step? If you liked this new news format, please indicate so in the comments. And if there is any news you want more detail on, tell us, we want a deep dive video on this. Remember that we'll see you next Sunday at 4 p.m. with more updates. Until next time.